with the grip or something?
I'm ready.
I just want to say, first off, maybe someone just takes violent shits. Me, for instance, I don't like public restrooms, so if I ever have to use one, it's only in case of emergency, and those are the most violent shits ever. So, don't be so judgmental. First of all, I'm really happy to be here. I am. I wasn't feeling too good today. I had to go to the ER room. I'm having a little bit of an issue with my downstairs. I'll just come out and say that. I have an infection in my balls, all right? A blood clot, per se. Now, it's just my luck that normally, if anybody used to watch the Animaniacs? Hello, nurse. Exactly. She was gorgeous, beautiful. That's what you would expect in a nurse, but go to the hospital or whatever, and you get a frumpy old angry lady, like, kind of pissed off. She'd been doing the same thing for 15 years, tired of helping fucking kids out and shit like that. Anyway, so I go to the ER today. My balls are hurting. And I'm like, all right, let's get this over with. So I walk in. I see the old frumpy ladies. That's fine. And then when I finally go back to my room, what do I get greeted with? Some of the most beautiful, supermodel-looking nurses I have ever seen. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem, right? What's sexier than, hey, I'm about to pull my balls out today. Check this out, baby. I don't find a pickup line to be work so well when, hey, I got an infection in my dick. How'd you like some of this? Doesn't work so well. So, does anybody here remember when they first realized they were starting to go through puberty? Anybody at all? I did. I woke up one day and said, holy shit, I need to trim that. Who fired the gardener? And but you see the difference between men and women. Men, for instance, math class becomes more arousing for some reason. 2 + 2 = a fucking hard-on. In science class, you just hope for anatomy because you just want to see some titties. Women, for instance, though, theirs is so much more traumatic, and that I feel bad for them almost, because. Here I just got to deal with a stiffy. Let me call in sick, I'll go home, jump on the internet, and deal with it. Women, they got to run the fucking mile. Next thing they know, they look down, they got blood running down their leg, and they just thought they'd been stabbed or shanked or what the fuck just happened. But then, the lucky thing is they never have to run the mile ever again, which was, I didn't like that per se. So, I'm a dad, though. I got a 2.5-year-old. He's the love of my life. But there's one thing that I cannot fucking stand, and it just annoys the shit out of me. He loves Dora the Explorer, and it just annoys the shit out of me. But you gotta let him watch it all day, because I don't want to hear him fucking cry nonstop, and if you lock him in his room, God knows what kind of trouble he can get into. The things that I don't like about Dora the Explorer, though, for instance, she's friends with a fucking monkey named Boots. That right there is a feces-flinging companion I want nothing to do with. It makes me sick to my stomach. You're literally dealing with your best friend's shit in that aspect. Not to mention, if you really think about it, she's got a talking backpack. Really? What the fuck? And where are her parents in all this? As a parent, would you let your child run through the safari and travel across the world with a fucking monkey and animal companions and no supervision whatsoever? I never understand it. And then I felt like a dick today because I watched an episode with them and her fucking mom showed up. And I just kind of threw that whole theory out the window. But and then I just kind of and it makes me think though about the shows I watched when I was real young compared to the shows now. When I was younger, growing up, you watch the Teletubbies and Barney, and just a lot of people see the differences in them. I kind of see the similarities. Teletubbies, for instance, you're dealing with more of a borderline homosexual, like, what's going on, they eat custard, it's kind of weird, but fuck it, you're a little kid, you don't really care, right? And then there's that Yo Gabba Gabba. this is some black guy, and he's got some toys that he brings to life, and kind of borderline homosexual. The only difference is when I think of talking live toys, I think of Toy Story and how epic that was when I was a kid growing up. Like, I remember when I first watched Toy Story for the first time, went home, set up all my fucking toys, and was like, let's do it, bitches. Yeah, we're gonna have adventures. This shit's gonna be tight. It wasn't as cool as I thought it was gonna be. The only way I see Yo Gabba Gabba, though, how it became invented, was just a really bad acid trip. Yo, man, listen here. This is what we're gonna do. We got some fucking toys, right? They're gonna come to life, sing songs. Kids are gonna fucking love it. It's gonna be the shit, which I don't really understand myself. And then, talking about kids here, I got a little nephew too. He's gonna be 6, actually on St. Patty's Day, which is really cool. My sister comes home today, right? She starts talking to my family about, because we watch him after he gets out of school. She works at Amazon, works late, whatever. About how we need to start helping him with his homework. Now, when I was in, kindergarten, whatever, the homework was like, go home and what's 2 plus 2 and shit like that.
Hard on.
I'm like, I don't understand why I need to help him with his homework. She pulls it out. Now, mind you, my nephew can't even spell his fucking name. But yet, his teacher sends him home with a piece of paper stating his homework that he needs to find yarn, nails, a hammer, wood, paper clips, something shiny, which Trojan condom, I don't know, I'll throw it there. And he needs to build a fucking leprechaun trapping contraption. So now we go from me, who had to figure out just basic addition, red, blue, green, what are your colors? And now my nephew has to become this fucking mastermind architect, and he barely knows what the first fucking letters of his name were. So, as was said, I came up last week, and I've been telling a lot of people about it, doing the comedy and stuff. And I just think it's funny, because once you start telling people that you do the stand-up, everybody's got a joke for you. Hey, talk about the weather. You gonna use that later tonight? No, it's not funny. Not at all. Thanks, guys. That's my time.